But uh, but yeah, so you're welcome to attend to this safety warning. I'm going to be asking you to bringing up a mildly difficult situation, and sometimes that can turn into a large situation or something like that. So please, if this practice doesn't work for you, know you can let go of it. Like I said, there'll be a handout so you can come back and try it again. But the idea here is to just take care of yourself as we do this. And again, if it's possible, it's 12:12. This will probably be about, no, excuse me, be about 15, 18 minutes. So if you're able to get into a comfortable position, like lying down even, working with difficult emotions, it's often helpful to just be in a completely comfortable position. But otherwise, certainly sitting or whatever works for you is fine. Um, so and there'll be a lot of talking with this. This is done in the style of Tara Brach, and I'll give you some links. And so she's often doing a lot of inquiry, a lot of exploration. So if you find that my talking is getting in the way, again, feel free to turn me down or just mentally tune me out. But why don't we go ahead and start the practice, as we often do, getting into whatever comfortable position you can work with, remembering you can always shift, you can move, you can do this standing, yeah, camera off or on, you can gently rock, again, just whatever's supportive for you. And we'll start, as I usually do, with just a few big deep breaths, just allowing yourself to feel the breath. Let the breath, the feelings of the breath, fill your whole consciousness. The big inhalation, long, slow release. The rising, the nourishment with the inhalation, maybe hold it a bit, and really let that exhalation soften through the body, the downward motion. And letting the breath return to normal. Eyes open or closed, whatever supports you best. And maybe just attending to the body. Okay. Again, as we've done before, this idea of just scanning through the body, looking for tension that wants to be released. Okay. Tension that can naturally release as you choose to release it. Classic places, particularly in the middle of a busy day, or the jaw, the muscles around the eyes. Just moving those muscles, softening, easing the neck and the shoulders. See if you can just, those, again, almost has to go lower in stages, just lowering the shoulders and then lowering again, maybe letting the breath, a gentle rise and fall, softening with that exhalation, bringing ease into the neck and shoulders. Then down into the chest, the abdomen, again, softening, releasing, easing. Feel free to take another deep breath if you wish. Feel free to shift, move, rock. And the big muscles in the legs and the arms. Again, just letting gravity take over here, giving yourself the gift of this moment, just letting the body soften. And now from this kind of wakeful presence, scan your life, okay, and see if there's a situation, a place of difficulty, okay, something that's bringing up difficult emotions. Again, nothing major, certainly nothing that brings up trauma or really strong emotions. We can't learn when we're in overwhelm. So something where there is a charged reaction, but not overwhelming. Maybe something going on in a relationship, something at work, just some irritating encounter with a salesperson or tech support, just something that is triggering, where there's some sort of maybe some fear or hurt or frustration, sadness. Basically a situation that brings up these reactive emotions that you'd like to find more balance in the midst of. And as you settle in on a situation, really bring it to mind. Okay. Who was there? The other person, the words that were said. What happened? What might happen? Really plays this through, almost like watching a movie. Maybe just go to the frame where you feel most emotionally reactive and allow yourself to freeze that frame, maybe holding it, because we may need to come back here to recharge the emotion. Just sense what is triggering you. So the R of rain is to recognize what's going on. What emotion is here? Anger, or hurt or just frozen or fear, whatever it is you're most aware of. And if there's multiple things, just name them all. And if it's hard to name, if a lot of stuff's going on, just say confusion. That's perfectly fine. But as you name it, try to name it in a kind, validating voice. Just as you would for a friend. Oh, anger is here, or sadness, or guilt. Just see what it's like to simply name the emotion in this kind and supportive way, letting the words soak into you. And as part of recognizing it, okay, there's the A, the allowing. So as you're experiencing this emotion, see if you can just let it be there, okay? Just allowing the thoughts, the emotions, the feelings to be here without trying to fix or avoid it. Giving up any sense of struggling with this. Again, you don't have to like it or the situation. You may need to act here, but right now, we're just pausing to make space for what's here because it is the reality of the moment. And sometimes a phrase can help, as you hold this emotion, as you hold the situation to allow it, just simply saying, yes, this is here, or it's okay, or I consent. I'm going to allow myself to experience this. It belongs. Just see what that feels like in the body. Again, sensing into the body. If the body's tightening up, maybe allowing yourself the kindness of softening, checking into those shoulders, into the back, the abdomen. Just breathing around the emotion, breathing into the space. Just see if you can just allow it. Because by not fighting, you stop feeding the emotion. And maybe you can see it a little more clearly. Maybe even seeing layers of emotions here. A vulnerability beneath anger, a fear around anxiety, just hating a feeling of deep sadness. So just naming the emotions as you find them, allowing them to be here. Again, just with kindness, with ease. And then the I of rain is to investigate. Okay, we're going to spend some time here. And remember, this doesn't mean thinking about the situation. You may need to rethink the situation to charge up the emotion. And that's interesting right there. But no, our mind desperately wants to fix, to plan, to counterattack. So let the thinking be. It's going to be there. Just acknowledge that and stay with the body. So with this feeling, you might begin by asking what most wants attention. What's the most difficult part of this? Where are you feeling it? Just feeling into the place of whatever's going on, the feeling of failure or shame or judgment or anger or fear. Just really pay attention, to places like your throat, your heart, your belly, recognizing that you can always let go of this practice if you choose to. But what are you finding? Is there a clenching or a rawness? Is there an ache or a squeezing? Just really getting curious about this thing we call an emotion and how it's showing up. Sometimes you can feel it as a shape within you. A hardness in the chest or a band across the shoulders to the abdomen. So as you identify this, whatever form it's taking, look closely at it. Does it fluctuate? Does it shift? Does it kind of quiver on the surface? Even things like, does it have a color? And as the emotion is here, is there tensing in the body around it? We're just like a reporter. What's going on here? And if there is tensing, see if you can soften that. Again, this engages curiosity. There's a real reward flavor to looking into things, to learning about things. And it gives you some space around the emotion rather than being lost in it. It also lets you see what happens to the emotion when you let go of the story and really explore how it affects the body. So spend some time here, again, recharging the emotion if you need to, and getting really curious. Is it in the chest? If so, does it spread out to the arms and legs? Or is it in some other location? Or are you noticing it in one area, but when you pay attention to the rest of the body, do you find traces of it in other areas? And as we do this, it can sometimes help to ask yourself, what am I believing about myself or others when this is happening? Okay. Is there a belief here that's perpetuating the emotion, or a belief that is causing the emotion to arise? Like, am I believing that someone feels I'm not special? Am I believing that I'm not understood, that I'm invisible or a failure, or that I'll always be this way, that I can't handle it? Just seeing if there's some sort of a belief going on in addition to what you're experiencing in the body. Again, breathing, holding the body with ease. And as you explore these places and possible beliefs, if these areas could communicate, what would it want you to know? Maybe these sensations, these feelings are offering you words or a strong feeling or an image. What is this emotion trying to tell you? And so the eye of investigation begins to turn towards the N of nurturing. When you ask that vulnerable place, how do you want me to be with you? Okay. As you would ask a dear friend, what does this place most need right now? Does it want to trust something? Does it want to feel something in particular? Does it want to be loved or appreciated or heard? So whatever you're finding, begin to sense the possibility of responding to this place inside you from the most loving and wise part of you. And sometimes it helps to get in touch with that wiser place. You might want to take a few full breaths, maybe find yourself adjusting your posture a little bit, a little more upright, a little more strength, a little more power. Just something that allows you to inhabit your highest self, your most awakened, wise, and caring heart. But also staying in contact with that vulnerability, just listening, feeling, what does this place most need? Can you offer this vulnerability what is needed? Perhaps starting by putting your hand over your heart or where you're feeling it in your body. Again, these hands that so readily offer care to others. See if you can feel that flow of energy coming from you to you. Putting your hand on your body, letting your body know you're here. Offering this vulnerability what is needed. And are there words that this place needs to hear? Can you offer that? Perhaps thinking what you might say to a dear friend if it's hard to determine what you need to hear. A friend that was going through this, for something like as simple as, I'm sorry, I love you, or I care about this suffering. Or just telling yourself, I'm not leaving, you belong. You are part of my life. It's not your fault. Or maybe just reassure yourself that you've been here before. You know what to do. You know what boundaries to set. Just feeling that strength and that caring, nurturing. Turning towards this. The poet Rumi says, don't turn away. Keep your gaze on the bandaged place. That is where the light enters you. So recognize here, you're exploring what you need for your healing. You are the holder and the held. And then we follow this rain practice with what's called after the rain. Just if it's possible, if it feels right, maybe resting in this heart space, this awareness of what is here. Just letting this idea that, you can just dissolve into this ability to just care for yourself, to support yourself, to sense what this emotion wants, what it's telling you, and hold that. And if, as you were exploring this, if you found a belief that perpetuates the suffering, you can even ask yourself, what would I be like if I didn't have this belief? What freedoms would be there if you didn't hold this belief? And is this an avenue to explore further? Because really recognize that a practice like this is more the truth of who you are than any other story you could ever tell about yourself. Just trusting in and resting in this presence that is your true home. I'm just going to finish this practice with a brief poem, again by Rumi. It's called The Guest House. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. This guest may be clearing you out for some new delight, the dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. So I'll end that practice, and you can begin to wiggle your hands and feet, maybe offering yourself a stretch, a glass of water, whatever it takes. So, that's rain. Again, something that you can kind of keep in your back pocket, either for in the moment experiences. I think you can see that something can be done quickly, or certainly for end of the day, rather than ruminating about something, just pausing and saying, wait, what's really going on here for me? Can I attend to that? And once you attend to that, you may have a lot more creativity and wisdom and compassion to address the situation.